Good morning everyone. In this video we're going to get part 1 of paragraph 6.5, which is already the last paragraph of chapter 6. By now I think I've already told you that we're going to do 3 assignments this chapter. You've already finished 1 and I think I've checked almost all of them. The second assignment has a deadline on next Monday, I think. And the last one will come up next week, and then those 3 assignments will give you an amount of points, and the amount of points will determine your mark for chapter 6 instead of a test. In this video we're going to look at paragraph 5, which we will use for the last part of for the last assignment. And it's about counting problems, and counting problems might sound as if they're really easy, because counting things should sound easy, but we're not really going to count things by hand. We're going to try and be smart about that. So an example which I like is the following example. Imagine you're going to school and you are thinking about your outfit, to what you're going to wear to school, and then you're doubting between 4 different t-shirts, and we're going to use a black t-shirt, blue one, and if you have multiple colors, use them because they might help you understand this. The red one, and choose a green one as well. Why these 4 colors? Because these are the 4 markers that I currently possess. Besides that, you have 3 bezel jeans. Let's say that those are blue, black and green. And let's assume that you also have 2 pair of shoes. Which will use the colors black and blue. Okay. Now we can think, how many different combinations can we make with these 3 objects? So if you want to choose 1 t-shirt, 1 pair of jeans and 1 pair of shoes. In math we have multiple ways of basically attacking this problem, and we're going to start with the following one. And this is a way which is very inefficient, but it will help you understand what's going on. So that's what I'm showing you. I'm going to start over here. This will be our starting point. And make sure you draw this in your notebook as well. And I'm going to split our problem up in 3 moments actually. In the first moment we're choosing our t-shirt, then we're choosing our pair of jeans, and then our shoes. So let's start with choosing a t-shirt. How many different combinations are there with just t-shirts? Well, this should be obvious. There should be 4 options. Let's draw those. So option 1, the black t-shirt. Option 2, option 3, and option 4. So like that. Okay, 4 options. Let's draw points over here as well. Thing is, we're not done yet. We also have our jeans, which we're worrying about. Imagine that we chose the black t-shirt. That means that we can choose 3 different jeans for that t-shirt. So once again, there's a black line, blue one, and a green one. The thing is, if we chose our blue t-shirt, we also have those 3 options. So we're going to draw more lines. some of you already think, yeah, but you can do that for every t-shirt. Yes, that is correct. So we're going to draw these 3 lines for the other 2 t-shirts as well. Which means we can count our combinations by counting the amount of points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We had 4 and 3. This is basically multiplying those numbers. We're doing it really inefficiently, but that is what we're doing. Let's look at the last step, because we also want to know something about our shoes. So for every point over here, we can choose between 2 different shoes. So for this first point over here, it's either the black shoes, the blue ones. For this option, black shoes, the blue ones, black or blue. And we can draw these 2 lines for every single point. Let's do that really quickly. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 different possibilities. Does that make sense with these numbers? Before we are going to answer that question, we're going to see that there is also a different way of doing it. This thing that we just drew is called a tree diagram. Now we're going to make the more efficient version of this. So we will have another starting point. But as you can see, this gets really big, and I used really small numbers, so imagine what would happen if I would have used numbers like 11, 7, and 9. Then this would be a real chore. Now, our first choice is the t-shirt, which meant we knew that there were 4 options, but we're going to draw it differently now. Let's draw it like this. So 4 lines for every single t-shirt line. So 4 options over here. Second moment, we're choosing our jeans. So we're going to draw a point. So there is black pair of jeans, blue pair, and I almost dropped it on myself, which is very okay. Going to draw the 4th one to show our third moment of choice for the black shoes or the blue ones. Which means we have 2 options over here. We already know that the answer is 24. So how did we get that answer? Maybe some of you have already noticed we are multiplying these numbers. 4 times 3 times 2 is 24. This thing over here is called a network diagram. And now, if we would have a problem with different numbers, so if we would have had these 7 t-shirts, 11 pairs of jeans, and 9 pairs of shoes, we wouldn't have to draw like this monstrous diagram. We can just multiply these 3 numbers. 7 times 11 is 70, 7 times 9 would be 693. So keep that in mind when doing these questions. This thing that we're doing over here is called the multiplication rule. It's actually used a lot when you're dealing with counting problems. And you will also see it next year, and if you choose Math A, also in the 4th and 6th year. Good luck.